Have you ever noticed that when you feel your classiest, all your stress seems to just melt away? This isn't a coincidence, and in this video today, we're going to explore 5 different ways to make sure that you're prioritizing feeling classy in your everyday life, because this will make you feel amazing and totally stress-free. Welcome back to Living Enchanté. I'm Lauren Gondarva, and before we get started, I do want to tell you that I have a new online class that you'll find the link to in the description for this video. It's called Start Your Classiest and Most Stress-Free Life Today, and it's actually just an expansion of this video and other videos on my channel. It's an hour long, and it contains lots of way more detailed information and practical ideas for doing little picture and big picture things that will help you feel classy every day. So my first tip for today's video about being classy is to make sure that you're prioritizing your heart posture. There are tons of little tiny tweaks we can do to feel classy in our everyday life, whether that's the way that we dress, the way that we feel, or little rituals for our days. But starting with our hearts is really the biggest thing we can do. And I know this feels really huge and expansive and out there, but when you think about it, this is the one thing that will make the most enormous difference in everything else that you do. So if you've been living in a way where you feel like you're kind of on autopilot and you're just always following the script laid out for you and always just doing the next item on your agenda, make sure that every day this week you just come to a place of kind of feeling into how your heart feels and what you actually want to do with your time, because this will make all the difference in the world for how you feel. When you lead with your heart, that's when you start feeling classy, because that's who you already are. Classy is not about being anybody in particular. Any person around the world with any amount of money can be classy. It has nothing to do with where you are or what you've been born into. It's all about your posture. And classy people always lead from the heart. That's how you can tell the difference between truly classy people and people who are kind of just putting on a show or being fake and performative. Classy people are who they want to be. They think about themselves and their personalities in a view that is still generous. You're still able to think about others and take care of all the other people and do all the things you need to do, but you are just aware and self-aware enough to be honest with yourself about what you want out of life and how you want to operate in your day. And that brings so much classiness to you, and that allows you to just let all the stress melt away. There's a huge amount of stress that will instantly dissolve when you stop trying to be someone other than who you are. The second way to feel this level of class every day is gratitude. I know gratitude feels like a buzzword, and you may have even tried this before where you're, writing out things that you're grateful for. And sometimes that can just feel like you're trying to conjure a feeling that you don't actually feel, or that you're trying to be grateful when you don't actually feel good. The key to real gratitude is to think of things that actually make you feel good. So don't go through the list of things that you think you should be grateful for. Just think about what is actually making you feel good in your life right then. Thinking about one thing that you're truly feeling gratitude for is so much more powerful than making a list of even 100 things that you just feel like you're pressuring yourself to feel gratitude in that moment. It doesn't mean that you're not grateful for those other things. Of course, you're grateful for all the things in your life, but being able to really feel the power of gratitude in one thing will really turn a light bulb on to how classy you feel. And that gratitude for even that one small thing will really increase in a way that just opens up new opportunities for you, and it lets stress just dissolve, and all the little things that are happening in your life start to feel much less pressing. When you're feeling gratitude, you don't necessarily feel like you have to stay awake at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning worrying about things, because you've already put so much time into being grateful for what is going on in your life and what you have right then. It really allows you to focus on the present and what you can control, rather than stressing and being kind of a chaotic mess about what you can't. So if you don't do anything else to feel classy today, just at least take one deep breath and allow yourself to feel gratitude for something. You'll remember who you are, you'll remember why you are already so classy, and your stress will just go to the wayside. Number 3, make sure that you are scheduling in your energetic boundaries and setting your schedule instead of letting your schedule set you. If you're like me, you have so many facets of life that demand your attention. If you have a partner or kids or a job or any multitude of things going on, there is a constant press for your time. And in fact, right now I'm in a season of life because I have 3 kids, one of whom is only 1-year-old. It's kind of like sometimes I feel like a ticking time bomb where I really can't sink into what I'm doing because I know at any second someone's gonna need me. So instead of letting that control my life, I just come back to a place of class and remember that I have to build some schedule into my days and some kind of time blocks or boundaries. Because if I don't, then the whole day will be taken over start to finish by rush and confusion and chaos and just feeling like I'm all over the place. So think about how this will work in your current life circumstance, no matter what that is. It doesn't matter what you have going on in your life right now. You can build in some sense of a framework for your life and your time, and then you'll feel way classier and way better. Some things that I like to do are I always really focus on powering hard on Mondays and Tuesdays, but then on Wednesday mornings, I really make the intention to relax a little bit. On Wednesday mornings, I might sleep a little bit longer, but even if I don't, if I'm waken up by one of my kids or something that needs my attention, I will stay in my pajamas a little bit longer or linger longer over my cup of coffee, play some music, have a different kind of breakfast, make sure that I'm spending more time outside, anything that just makes time slow down. I do the same things on Fridays. Fridays are fun day for me forever and always, and I always prioritize things in the schedule that mean fun for us on Fridays to make sure that we're not going all week without any play. On weekends, I always put my phones and devices totally away because I just want to really live in the moment if the weeks have been busy especially. So think about things like that and what you might want to build into your schedule ahead of time so then the schedule doesn't just take off without you. This could be that a certain night of the week you always go to an exercise class, or you meet up with friends for dinner, or for lunch on a certain day of the week you always eat your lunch outside, or anything like that. Maybe one night of the week you always prioritize going to bed a little bit early or having an extra hour to read a book, or even just watching some trash TV, which I do every now and then. Whatever it is, just set those little kind of seemingly unimportant things into your schedule on the front end, and not only the things like appointments and stuff that you have to get to. Schedule in that fun stuff, and that will allow you to go through your week feeling like you have those touch points and those moments of class and having it all together, and that makes life feel way less urgent and way less stressful. Okay, number 4 for getting control of your life and feeling classy and stress-free all the time is having simpler habits and focusing on the mantra of less but better. This could be things in your schedule like we just talked about, or it could be anything materially in your life. It could be with your wardrobe, always choosing pieces of clothing that you want to wear that are very high quality and having less. So even if that means repeating outfits every 2 to 3 days, it doesn't matter. It sometimes just feels so good and so much more stress-free to have a few really good quality things that you love and that you know you can wear over and over. If you've been watching my channel for any amount of time, you know that I wear the same articles of clothing on repeat because these are just the ones that I love and I always feel good in. This could be your makeup routine, that you just have a few items but that you always get the ones that you really love instead of having a dozen makeup items that you're kind of on the fence about. This could be your leisure activities, that you like to spend an hour doing something you really love instead of trying to fill up your time with things that you think are going to make you happy but that really aren't adding anything to it. This could also be your relationships and friendships. Make sure that you're curating your friendships to be spending time with people that make you feel good and feel full and alive, rather than walking away from every situation with your friends or any social activities that you do feeling like you're just completely drained and now you need to go home and hide in the dark for 48 hours because you can't stand to be around people any longer. Think about what you can do to simplify your life and just let everything feel better. I'll give you a really random example. I was just thinking about this because I was doing the dishes a minute ago. And by doing the dishes, I mean like putting them away out of the dishwasher. One time I was like, I just flung open the cabinet doors and I just got rid of so many dishes at once. I had put them in a box and donated them because I was like, these are the ones we actually use. And all of these other ones are just sitting here getting in my way, being cluttered. So we have honestly like 1 plate per person in our house. And we have a few extras, of course, for when guests come over. We have like our Chinaware for that. But in just our everyday cabinet of plates and cups, we just have very minimal what we would use in a day for all 5 of us. And we don't keep a bunch of clutter around. We just use the ones we actually like. So even tiny, simple things like that will really simplify your life, make you feel like you can move through life way more easily. Like the air is just, you know, open and spread out in front of you so you can capture your life and move with class and grace and elegance and effortless elegance rather than feeling cluttered and overwhelmed and stressed all the time. And finally, my last tip in this video today is that the classiest women are always the kindest ones. You can always tell the really classiest women in the room by how kind they are. These are the real queens. So making sure that you're prioritizing kindness in your life, both to yourself and others, will instantly dissolve stress, like today, because you will just feel so much more calm and emotional connection and happiness and joy when you are prioritizing being kind in your speech, in your posture, in your body language to everyone that you come in contact with, your family, your friends, the bank teller, the grocery store clerk, anybody that you see today. Remember to take the time. Sometimes we just get rushed by life and so we're quick or we don't make eye contact or we're just kind of shorter tempered. When you are calm, you can be kinder because you just feel, like I said in the beginning, like you're in that heart posture. And so when you're being your kindest, you're feeling classy. Everybody else instantly recognizes you as being classy and everything just feels better all around because you don't feel stressed. Sometimes we can snap or say something we don't mean or raise our voices. And you know what I mean? Like we instantly feel terrible and stressed out, and it kind of is a snowball effect into making us feel worse about ourselves and our lives overall. So if we can take the time every day to just take a breath for a minute and make sure that we're posturing ourselves in a way that's kind to others and to ourselves always, this goes a long way in helping us feel class. Of course, we want to be kind to others. We also want to work on our own self-talk. Sometimes I catch myself thinking the cruelest things about myself that no one has ever said to me, and I don't even know where these things come from. But like if I make an accident in the kitchen, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm the worst cook ever. Like that is not true. I've been cooking my whole life. I know how to cook, but I have to actually real time correct myself. So speaking kindly to yourself in that language, if you have a disruptive thought going through your head about how terrible you are and how you're the worst at this or that, saying something immediately to replace that thought with kindness, such as, I'm a great cook, I made a mistake, it's not a big deal, I don't forget about anything. Saying things like that to yourself will help you be kinder to yourself, which then continues that good snowball of being kinder to yourself, being kinder to others, and just feeling like your absolute classiest self all the time. If you've ever been in a room of women and there are a lot of people there, you will instantly be able to spot who the classiest is by who's actually making eye contact and smiling, remembering details about each other, and just exuding this calm, stress-free air of ease. Those are the women who are really running the show and who are the queens of their lives. There's kind of a stratosphere underneath of women who don't smile, who are insecure, who might on the surface look like they have everything and have tons of money and opportunities and like they have their life together. But if they're not kind and they're not smiling and they're not being kind to other people in the room, I just don't find them interesting at all. That is a big red flag of not having real class. So we can always posit ourselves as these queens of kindness by just making sure that we're showing that kindness every day. I do talk more about this specific idea in the online class that I have available now. So again, that's available in the description for this video, and I'll put it in my future videos as well if you'd like to check that out. But otherwise, just subscribe to my channel. I hope that you continue to enjoy these videos, and I'm so glad you're here. Thank you to all of my recent subscribers, and I am so happy to continue enjoying this journey with you on all things class and grandeur and taste. All right, I will see you next week. Have a beautiful week ahead, practicing all these little moments of kindness to yourself so that you can feel classy and let that stress dissolve.